Good morning to everybody. Dear students, we were observing a love story, a romantic love story with somewhat comedic concepts. That is A Sunny Morning, written by Serafin and Joaquin Alvarez Pintero, the Spanish brothers who were known as Golden Brothers of Madrid Theatre. I've said already that this play, one-act play, revolves around two lovers, that is Don Gonzalo and Donna Laura, who in their youth, before long back to 50 years, when these two were nearly 20, they were passionately attached in the past, passionately attached to each other. But unfortunately, a cruel blow of fate made them separate. After 50 years, when they are at the age of 70s, both of Gonzalo and Laura, they meet in a retired park at Madrid, in autumn season. Autumn, Sharatkala. That means their age is decreased. Their age is 70. So there is autumn season. But the usual reaction when they meet each other at that park, the long lost lovers does not take place here, as both of them are unwilling to disclose their real identity, since they are both sadly changed. Their face has been sadly changed. Recall your memory of W.B. Yeats. When you are old, nodding by the fire, with grey hairs. So these two are like that. But they were ardent lovers, passionate lovers in their 20s. I've already told that where this locality, this play has been played, the locality that is in a retired corner of a park in Madrid. This is all about the locality or the introduction. Now, as they are not ready to unveil their identity, they want to hide their identity, that they themselves are Gonzalo and Laura. But how did they knitted the story? How did they knitted the story? When they come to know that they both are Gonzalo and Laura, when Gonzalo started to reading Campomore's poem, that is Campomore's poem, that is, I will read here. That Campomore's, he returns 20 years pass. The Campomore's 20 years pass, he returns. When he reads with his spectacle and with a glass, Laura somewhat teaches Don Gonzalo, and she reads without spectacles in that age of 70. The reader can identify that this lady is Laura and this man is Don Gonzalo. But they themselves are not ready to close their identity to one another, to each other. What is the story knitted by the two lovers, Gonzalo and this one Laura? First, we will their love story as narrated by, I'll repeat it. A love story of these two people as narrated by themselves. First, Donna Laura's version. What Donna Laura knits her story, even though Donna Laura is the lover of Don Gonzalo when she was at the age of nearly age of 20, she knits a story. ಅವಳು ಒಂದು ಕಥೆಯನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾಳೆ because she doesn't want to close her identity, to unveil her identity before Don Gonzalo, the lover. What she says is, in Marisela, there is a place in Valencia. Valencia is the third largest city in Spain. In Valencia, there is a place, Marisela. It's a local place. There lived a lady called Laura Lorente. Bear it this name in your mind, because there may be a question. What is the first name of Donna Laura? And this Laura Lorente, he was living in Marisela, in Valencia. And this Laura Lorente was called the Silver Maiden in that locality, because she was so beautiful. She was too beautiful. She was very beautiful. Silver Maiden in Kannada, Rajata Kanya. Rajata Kanya ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಅದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ. ರಜತ ಅಂದರೆ ಬೆಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂದರೆ ತುಂಬ ಬೆಳ್ಳಗಿತ್ತು, ತುಂಬ ಬೆಳ್ಳಗೆ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಮೇಡನ್. ದ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಮೇಡನ್, Laura Lorente, who was living in Marisela, in a part of Venezuela, and she was called Silver Maiden by the people of that locality. And then here, Gonzalo would pass by this on horse. Gonzalo would pass by down the house of this Silver Maiden, that is Laura Lorente. Gonzalo would pass by on horseback every morning down the rose path. Down the rose path, under the window where Laura Lorente was standing, under her window, and would toss up to her balcony a bouquet of flowers. Bouquet of flowers. This is the routine. This is every day. Gonzalo would pass on that path and would pass the bouquet of flowers to Laura Lorente with her window. ಅವಳ ಕಿಟಕಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನಿಂತಿರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ನಿಂತಂತೆ. He was on horse, a gallant young man, Gonzalo. ಅವನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದ, ಒಂದು ಪುಷ್ಪಗುಚ್ಛವನ್ನು, ಹೂಗುಚ್ಛವನ್ನು ಇವನು ಗೊಂಜಲು ಟಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದ ಮೇಲೆ. Laura Lorente ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ದ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್. ಅವಳು ಹಿಡ್ಕೋತಿದ್ದ with love and affection. And later, in the evening, when Gonzalo returns back on that path, see this. In the morning, when Gonzalo passes On that path, he tossed up the bouquet of flowers to Laura Lorente, who was called as the Silver Maiden, and she catches that bouquet of flowers with very love. And then at evening, when Gonzalo returns on that path, this Laura Lorente, the Silver Maiden of that locality, would throw the bouquet of flowers. Same path, Gonzalo catch the bouquet of flowers thrown by Laura Lorente. This was the daily routine. In the middle of this, that means they both are loving very intensely, very deeply, Laura Lorente and Don Gonzalo. They are loving very deeply. But in the middle of this, there was a blow of cruel fate. What was that? Laura's parents decided to marry Laura to a merchant who was maybe perhaps he may be rich. Perhaps they don't know the love affair between Laura and Gonzalo. Anyway, they have decided, the parents of Laura decided to get married Laura to a merchant. Then, when Gonzalo learned that, when he heard that, a duel was there between the merchant and Don Gonzalo. And the merchant was very deeply injured, and Gonzalo fled from further consequences. He was afraid of, because he was very rich. The merchant was very rich. So, fearing the consequences, Gonzalo fled. Where he fled, Laura did not know. But Gonzalo fled. And Laura Lorente, the Silver Maiden, waited for her lover, Lord Gonzalo, months after months and months, and not hearing from him for long. She left one evening, one afternoon, and went to the beach, nearby beach. She went to the near beach, and when she was engrossed in the memories or in the remembrance of Don Gonzalo, she was washed away. She was near the beach. She was sitting and engrossed in the remembrance or the memory of Don Gonzalo. At that time, she was washed away by the waves. That means she was dead. This was the version, this was the story told by Donna Laura. This was the story told by Donna Laura. Don Gonzalo passes on the path and he tosses up the bouquet of flowers. At the evening, Laura Lorente throws the bouquet of flowers. Both of them were in love, intense love, deep love. But their merchant wanted to get married Laura to a merchant. There was a duel, there was a cruel, there was a fight between the merchant and Don Gonzalo, and the merchant was deeply injured, and so fearing the consequences about the further consequences in the future, Gonzalo fled. Gonzalo left that Venezuela. This was the story, and after a long time, Laura waited for her lover Don Gonzalo, but nothing new, no news came to Laura Lorente, and then she engrossed. She was very sad, and so she went to the beach and engrossed. When she was engrossed in the remembrance of the memories of this Don Gonzalo, she was washed away by the waves. This was the knitted story by Laura. Then what Don Gonzalo knits is story. It is a different story. Somewhat, though it is related to Laura Laurente's love story. It says, Laura Laurente says, the story of the love story of Silver Maiden of Laura Laurente, she was heard by her friend. Laura Laurente says that this story about Gonzalo and Laura, I have heard by my friend. This was the knitted story by Laura Laurente, the Silver Maiden. Then what was the Don Gonzalo's version? Don Gonzalo loved her intensely, loved Laura Laurente intensely. After injuring, I have already told you, there was a duel and there was an injured merchant. After injuring the merchant seriously, leaving the consequences, he took refuge in Seville. This was the story told by Don Gonzalo. He fled to Seville, then at Madrid, Don Gonzalo says that he has written many letters. Then Don Gonzalo says that what Don Gonzalo was, this person, the cousin of Don Gonzalo, now the man who is sitting at the bench, is my cousin. Don Gonzalo was my cousin. ಹೇಗೆ ಲೋರಾ ಲೋರೆಂಟೆ ಅವಳ ಸುದ್ದಿಯನ್ನು ನನ್ನ ಗೆಳತಿಯಿಂದ ಕೇಳಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಹಾಗೆ ಡಾನ್ ಗೊಂಜಲೋ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಡಾನ್ ಗೊಂಜಲೋ who was loving Laura Laurente was my cousin. This was told by the person who is sitting near Laura Laurente. So Seville and Madrid, he has fled Madrid, and then he has written many letters to Laura Laurente. Don Gonzalo written many letters to Laura Laurente, but were intercepted by their parents. That means they know the love affair between Laura and Don Gonzalo. But the response or the answer was not received by Don Gonzalo. So, lost in despair, he fled. And there was intercepted by her parents all the letters. As there was no reply from Laura Laurente, in despair, in deep despair, what Gonzalo did is he joined the army and met his death in Africa. He joined the army. This was the story told by Don Gonzalo. And then, coming to the conclusion or reality. What is the reality? Whether the story told by Laura Laurente is real or the story told by Don Gonzalo was real. There is some reality, there is some falseness. 2 years later, what is done? 2 years later, Laura married a person and settled down in her life. This is what she said. She was washed away by the waves of that sea. But 2 years later, Laura Laurente married another person and settled in life. And similarly, Gonzalo disappointed over his love, and 3 months after that one, he married a ballet dancer. Don Gonzalo married ballet dancer and settled in Paris. Though they were separated, their yearning for the romantic love continued in their hearts. So when they meet in the park after nearly 50 years, both of them were very able to recall their intense romantic affair. Although they came to know about each other in reality, they did not want to reveal they had lost their charming youth. This is what a romantic play written by Seraphin and Joachim as well as Quintero. This is the summary or the story of a Sunday morning. Thank you very much.